Welcome, everybody, to Kansas City, Missouri. Welcome, everybody, to Kansas City, Missouri at Motus Ninjas, home to our fifth qualifier of the World Ninja League Premier Series. I am Kane Casillas. Joining me today, Philip Scott. And we've got our three course designers there, TJ Rahak, Donovan Matoyer, and Cal Tran. They've cooked up an amazing two courses, placement and challenge, for our athletes today. And we have some of the best athletes in the world ready to take on both of those. It's going to be an absolute banger. We've only taken the top 25% of all athletes from the regular season of the 2022 to 2023 season. And as you can see here on your screen, we've already had a large amount of athletes qualify in the amateur division for the finals. The finals will be November 17th to 19th at Ferox Athletics in Brooklyn, New York. And we are looking to get 4 more athletes in the amateur male and female division joining this long list. Philip, how are we feeling today?
Well, great having you here, Kane. It's been an amazing weekend so far. Yesterday, we saw so many amazing runs. This course has just really shown just how strong these Premier Series athletes are. And what really impresses me is how these athletes have stepped up to this challenge. You're going to see some really impressive moves on some very unusual obstacles from a ninja perspective. So, for example, we're starting off the challenge course with laches into a cliffhanger lache. And also, we're starting off the challenge course with a wall lift. So the placement course is 5 obstacles long, and it's just I was really surprised at just how tough it really was. We didn't have like that many finishers in any of the divisions yesterday, and what was the big ninja killer was the Aussie grip yo-yos. They were these mini UFOs that you had to lache from. It was the last obstacle, trampoline, and then you had to jump in, almost do like a slot grab, special delivery grab, and you had to be really precise with them. But we did see some people figure it out, but it was a tough obstacle.
Yeah, those yo-yos are no joke. They were, I believe, introduced in the last Ninja Challenge League finals in Australia in October of 2022. And that obstacle is what ended the entire competition on stage 3. So to see it so early on in this competition is definitely a surprise, but it goes to show the level of athleticism we have here. If you take a look at the athletes qualified for finals, I mean, we have so many top athletes from around the world. On the left side, in that left column, you'll see the amateur male division. And you've got Henry Katrek and Zach Keenan, your adult and young adult male champions from the World Championships this past season. That just goes to show the type of, the caliber of athlete that we'll be seeing in the finals. On the female side as well, you've got some absolute beasts. Kari Whitby put up an amazing run over at the Ninja Academy in Perth. And we'll see if she makes the trip on out to New York. It's going to be very interesting to see how she hangs out with the rest of the female athletes, mostly consisting of Americans at the moment, but that is very likely to change. Talia Gewurz, definitely another one to look out for, as well as Miriam McKissick. They are some absolute heavy hitters from the regular season, both in points and world championship results. And just seeing them all there, it goes to show that is how good you have to be to land in that top 4, land in that top 3, which I believe we have 3 female athletes today, 2 female athletes today, and that's all right. The rules will be a little different, and we'll go over that shortly. But regardless, none of these spots in the finals are a gimme for any of our amateur athletes here. We've combined the young adult, adult, and masters divisions in all of our Premier Series qualifiers. And that means you're going to have to be the best, not just of one division this time, but the best of 3.
That's absolutely right, Kane. And as you can see, all these athletes, this is what they're pining for. The World Ninja League Premier Series Finals at Ferox Athletics in Brooklyn, New York, November 17th to 19th. It will be an absolutely incredible event there. I am so excited for it. I'll be there in person, so can't wait to bring you the action there. But in the meantime, we still got today, and we still got 3 more qualifiers from all around the world.
Absolutely. And that means that our athletes are going to be facing 2 different types of courses today. It's going to kick off with the speedy placement course and will be followed up by the challenge course. Now, the placement course and the challenge course follow 2 different formats. So let's break that down for those who might be experiencing the Premier Series for the first time. Our placement course follows the traditional flow course format. If you fall once, your run is over. Again, you can expect these obstacles to be quicker, a little speedier, maybe a little technical here and there, but these are mainly meant so our athletes can push the pace, go fast, and let loose. And our leaderboard for the placement course is very important. We don't eliminate anybody on the placement course, but if you have the fastest time on the placement course, you get to run last on the challenge course. And if you got last place on the placement course, you're not eliminated. Again, we don't eliminate people there. This just means that you'll be running the challenge course first. And obviously, the more people you see run the challenge course, the more of an advantage it might be. It's not a guarantee that an athlete will make it to finals because they're running later, but it can definitely help seeing different strategies in practice on the course before trying the obstacles yourself. And now we take it over to the challenge course, where every athlete is going to have 2 retries for the entire course. You can only use 1 retry per obstacle, which means that there are 3 different ways that a runner's run can end. You can either fall on the same obstacle twice, or you can fall on 3 different obstacles using 2 retries on 2 different obstacles and then falling a 3rd time. No retries the 3rd time around. Or you could hit the buzzer, which is obviously something very exciting that we want to see out of our athletes. And I absolutely do think, knowing the course, we could get a clear, Phil. How are your thoughts? How are your feelings on that?
Yeah, well, in the preteens division yesterday, that was the first division that had the already infamous Kevin's VCRs have a dropping mechanism, and that was on the second one. We saw, I believe, 3 athletes get to that point yesterday, and not one of them was able to figure out how to get it unstuck and catch like the sides. So I'm very interested to see how these amateur athletes will be able to handle it, because it was a super tough obstacle yesterday.
Absolutely. And Kevin, a very chaotic mind that we know very well. And so it's exciting to see how these athletes are going to tackle it. Now, we do have our full list of runners here as well. It is going to be 2 amateur female athletes, and if I'm not mistaken, 15 amateur male athletes. Now, for the female side, typically on the challenge course, we bring in the top 4 athletes per division. With the amateur female division only having 2 athletes today, their challenge course rules will be a little different. They're going to have to beat the 3rd obstacle in order to qualify for the finals. Again, we don't give out freebies here, and our athletes are still going to have to earn their ticket to Ferox. However, it is I'm optimistic. I'm optimistic that they can get through those first 3 obstacles. Meanwhile, for the amateur male division, with 15 athletes, we will be taking the top 4, regardless of their results. But naturally, you'd imagine higher up on the leaderboard, we'll see deeper course runs and better results overall. Now, looking at this field of athletes, Phil, is there anyone that you have your eye on at the moment?
Absolutely. I think so. As you can see, who's running, the guy that's running 10th, Bo Lewis. He competed at Austin Ninjas. He had an early exit in the placement course and still had a very solid run in the challenge course. But unfortunately, just because he ran so early, he didn't get to see as much beta. That sometimes happens. And so his time to the throwback wasn't quite able to get him into the top 4, but he's back now. He wants revenge, and I think he's going to put up a really strong run here.
Yeah, it was a very heartbreaking way to end his run. He touched something that was out of bounds on the spider, so didn't necessarily fall on an obstacle, just didn't catch on to those rules early on. He's going to have to pay a little closer attention so he could possibly get a chance to run a full course the way he intended to back in Austin. I've got a bit of a bias pick there. You can see running 5th, Chad Hone. That's my coach, the owner of Level Up. He had a decent run at Motive not too long ago, but also Motive was such a stacked field. And Chad likes to go for big sendy moves. Sometimes those can pay off and send him super high up the leaderboard. And other times that can lead to missed hand placements or not enough throws on your kip and he'll fall earlier on. It's not hit or miss with Chad, but he's going to be an entertaining run to watch because he's either going to go for some crazy move or he might try and work his way up the leaderboard slowly and steady. Well, I'm not sure. His approach is always different.
Yeah, the key with Ninja is you always got to just adapt to the competition, adapt to the course, and feel it out. Just depending on how his placement course goes, he has all sorts of options. So he's definitely one to look out for. And of course, you see there at the bottom of the list, Lulu Moore. He is the coach at Austin Ninjas, where we were last week. And I definitely expect him to have a really strong run as well.
You've likely seen Lulu coaching as well already. He's a very active coach, and he's a great dude overall. And for someone, I didn't know this, he is a couple years away from entering the Masters division in the regular season. And believe me when I say, everybody, Lulu does not move like that at all. He just finesses everything. It's great. And it looks like we're going to get started.
Yep, we definitely are ready to roll here.
Moving on.
Bailey is off on the Lachey's.
Bailey Gilbert in the regular season was 3rd in the Heartland region and was 32nd at the World Championship. And just dropped down on the Lachey's.
Yep, that last grab, we saw that happen surprisingly to several of our athletes yesterday. It's a grab onto a cliffhanger hold, and it's about 6 feet over. It's quite the rude awakening getting into it. But here we are already with Ryan Foster. He's ready to roll.
Ryan not opting to link through the Lachey's. It's not an impossible task to still make it far in this course, but with a 1:30 time limit, it's definitely better to link and pop through as many moves as possible. Gonna take on the balance now.
Now this was a tricky area for our athletes last night, and he opts to skip the middle one.
I mean, I think we'll be seeing a lot more of that now that he's broken through that mold. Got the longer legs, can definitely afford to stride his way across.
And this got switched from 2 trapezes to trapezes and what looks like slip chucks. Oh, wow. They drop.
All right.
He has the grip, and he's moving on. 30 seconds left as he goes to the spinning sonic curve. It's a spinning log, and then it goes right into a sonic curve.
And look at that. He definitely has that stride playing to his advantage, but also very light-footed through that obstacle as well. And now, to the scene of the crime, the Aussie grips And it looks like they removed that bar from the earlier division. But he's
no.
tap on the ground as he tries to get to that switch hold first.
He had a good save there on the balance line. And yeah, what just happened was I think his feet touched the mat and he was a little surprised. I'm not sure exactly if incidental's okay or not here, but he lost a little bit of that grip going for that switch grab. And today, the difference is instead of Aussie grip, trapeze Aussie grip, it's that switch cliff grab and then 2 Aussie grips in a row. Silas is already linking.
Was really muscling his way through it, going for more of a pop. Not necessarily driving with his hips, but it's working for him. Phil, would you say that that exerts more or less energy than swinging through with your full body? Oh no, a foot tap from Silas Osterhoff.
Oh, yeah, we saw that with some of our athletes yesterday, just not keeping their feet in front of it, like feet under them, and tough break there, but I'm sure he's going to be looking for revenge.
All right, up on the starting block now is Chad Hone, but I did want to ask again, Phil, is it better to pop through more so with your arms when you link through your laches, or is it easier or faster to really drive through with your hips?
It's hard to say.
The hip approach.
Yeah, I usually like to go kind of like the hip side to side. It feels more comfortable, less impact, I guess. But I think ultimately it just comes down to preference.
Fair enough. Ooh, an interesting hop from Chad. And he's going to quickly hop over, but it looks like his foot might have touched on that second Bosu as it tipped. And that's going to do it for Chad Hone.
Yeah, this
for now.
Man, this placement course is really proven to be really difficult today. But again, Chad, he has the chance to have a really promising just set the bar high for our challenge course athletes. As we have Ernesto Perez up next. And
Ernesto was 12th in the South Central region this past season. Put in that skill, showing us why he got so high on the leaderboard so far with the great grab onto those cliffhangers.
And you can really see them there. And then you have to lache right up. That lache got added today. That last one up from the cliffhanger ledges. So now he's eyeing up the balance. Now the key with this balance is
steady yourself.
Good save. Yeah, keep yourself in the middle there. And something that happened yesterday, you don't want to psych yourself out too much on the balance. And he makes it through no problem.
And a good grab onto those chucks, but he just slips off. That drop got him. And it looks like that's going to do it for Ernesto's run for now, but puts him in a decent spot for the time being. We saw those quick strides on the Bosus. Very good foot placement there.
Yeah, and as you can see, Ryan, he was the only one to beat those nunchucks so far. That just shows you how much grip he had, because those look slippery and tough because they drop. So he's definitely going to be one to watch out for in the challenge course, as we have Carter Whitman up next.
2, 1, go.
Carter Whitman cleared stage 2 at the World Championship this past season, coming out of the New England region.
Impressive.
Gonna take an extra backswing on the cliffhangers, which makes sense. You could see that there's a bit of an overhang from the glass there. Oh!
Another athlete down on the balance line. Yeah, the gaps with the Bosus have been made quite a bit farther than yesterday in any of our divisions, so I think people are just not quite used to it. You got to really keep yourself centered, and if you do go a little too forward on the Bosu, you got to keep your feet in the middle.
And now we're on to Bryce Robbins. Bryce was first place in the Rocky Mountain region, and he's going to have to get through these laches quickly. Frankly, because the bottom 3 on the leaderboard right now, all been down on balance, but Bryce Robbins is going to go down on the laches.
Oh, yeah, I think he was using a bit too much impact there on those laches, and I think he just ran a bit out of grip there on that last one, but now we got Bo Lewis.
Yeah, it didn't look like he had that distance there, but someone who's got a massive wingspan is definitely using that to his advantage. Bo Lewis. Gonna pop over to the cliffs.
Linking right through.
Ooh, quick feet on the balance. He's gonna rush out of there.
Whoa! Fastest we've seen.
And he's gonna
all
link
weekend.
one backswing directly into the nunchucks. Currently putting Bo at a very fast time, but he overshoots the sonic curve.
Yeah, sometimes if you just go too fast, that's what happens. But that was unreal on the bounce. But yeah, he just had a little too much speed going into that sonic curve.
20 seconds through 3 obstacles. Still a very impressive run that's currently putting him in second place. We'll see if that holds up, but currently Ryan Foster's run, who made it through the sonic curve and to the yo-yos, is what's at the top of the leaderboard.
Yeah, even though he had an earlier exit again than he would have liked, it's still, we've had so many mistakes, especially on the balance. So it still puts him really good for the challenge course, as we have Lulu Moore up.
Lulu, such a great athlete, such a great coach. And he's going to go for that 2-footed hop as well. Can he save it? No, he cannot.
Oh, it looked like he might have there early on, but
it looked like he just knocked that second Bosu too far forward, and it didn't give him enough space to move forward onto the PVCs with his other foot. He was kind of too close together, but not far enough apart to really straddle himself, and he lost balance.
yeah, as you can see, we've had 8 athletes so far. I think we've had 9. Actually, I think 8. And
We've had, 8 in the amateur male division, 1
Yep.
in the female division.
Right. Yep. Next we have Logan Pullian out of Warrior Factory.
2, 1, go.
Logan made it to stage 1 and was taken down by the last obstacle at the World Championship, throwback. That was a major killer on the course at the World Championship, and we've got another major killer, the Aussie Grip Yo-Yos, down the line on this placement course. But first, he's got to get there, and he overshot that step.
Yeah, this
Philip,
is the
What is
I'm just-
happening with this balance?
Yeah, it's just getting, like I said, those Bosus, a lot bigger gaps than yesterday, and our athletes are just really, going into the Stegosaurus part with so much momentum. It's really tough to gauge, and yeah, it's been so tough for everyone. And next up, we have Jackson Van Sickle here.
Jackson actually might have a little bit of an advantage. He trains here at Motus, so has that rep in the home gym.
Ooh,
Good
look at that static.
Ooh. And a great run so far. He's going to speed right through the sonic curve as
Now-
he's coming up to the Aussie Grip swap.
He has all the time in the world. Size up, get ready. Starts off with that tricky switch grab,
Grabs the top of the yo-yo.
and then I think you have to go to the bottom here, and he does.
Great move.
And Jackson's our
And he's
first
gonna be
finish.
our first clear of the day.
10
Jackson
finishes
Van
in. And we finally have a finisher. This is the toughest we've seen this placement course all weekend, and he finally breaks through today.
The great static onto that nunchuck. An amazing coordinated grab onto that last yo-yo. Very smooth. And he also never really stopped moving. I think that's another big factor into his time as well. You talk about carrying that momentum forward. Jackson never stopped, and he made sure to deliver his dismounts into the beginnings of newer obstacles. And we'll see if Thomas Schwartz can do the same thing.
Get Thomas out of that Midwest Warriors gym.
Whoa, but he
Oh,
overshoots
no.
it.
A
lot of-
athlete down on balance.
And in particular, it's that transfer from that second Bosu to that first PVC step.
Yeah, they're just getting too much momentum. And yeah, it's been a tough one today. As we see, only a handful of athletes have even gotten through the balance. So I think maybe these later athletes in this run order will be thinking about just taking their time and not rushing, because they'll still get a really high placement if they beat that balance.
You would have to think for an athlete like Curtis Boucher, who was 4th place in the Heartland region, play to your strengths, link through those laches as fast as possible, because that could really put you higher up on the leaderboard given how many balance fails we have.
Oh no! Again!
I had to jump it. It's too far.
Lots of links popping right through, and this is why you train your balance, everybody. Try to go for the hop, kind of threw himself off center. And as we take a look at the leaderboard, we don't find Curtis in the top 10, which again goes to show you're going to need a very fast time to that point, to the balance obstacle, and it'll immediately shoot you past 3 or 4 people on the leaderboard right now.
Exactly. As you can see, only 4 of our athletes have beaten balance so far. And wow, yeah, this this course has just been absolutely brutal. And yeah, I'm just so amazed with Jackson's run. Look how much time he had.
I know.
44 seconds only. Like he just did that run so casually. It's super impressive.
So we're going to take it back to Will Peruka, who is taking on the placement course. Let out a little battle cry there. He's up and running. He's amped. He's excited.
Nice throw there.
Oh, but a little stumble back. Looks like he didn't touch his foot. A good way to counterbalance the weight on the Bosu as he steps on through.
And he's through.
Gets a little clap for the chalk. Pulls back. And gets that early dismount now onto the spinning Sonic Curve. Not
Good
a problem.
turn of momentum. It's eyeing up the Aussie grips.
Go for that switch grip. And now for that first yo-yo, which he grabs the top, but he's going to have to grab the bottom. There's a little slope on the bottom as well.
Grabs the back. And he gets it.
Very impressive run. 51 seconds out of Will. That's going to put him in 2nd place, our 2nd buzzer of the day. And you could see just how calm and collected he was. And again, you said he grabbed that backside. Again, those yo-yos are sloped. So holding on enough on one side of the yo-yo is not an easy task at all.
And up next we have Max Wozniak. He knows what he has to do to get a high placement for the challenge course, and that's beat balance.
Absolutely. But first he's got to get through these laches. Really exaggerating the link there, but he peels off the cliffhanger, just staring at the course in disbelief.
Yeah, he looked like he was linking so good, and then just
If I looked like his right hand was a little too far inside, and he wasn't able to fully grab the ledge there.
Yeah, I think just grabbed just by his fingertips. He set out big, had his hips way back. But
Well, now we're down to our. I believe he's our final runner in. Joseph Rouse misses. Really went for that link. And I did mention this before, that little layer of glass behind the cliffhanger, which you can see right there, that can block your hands. And I don't think he anticipated having to move his hands around that much. He just wanted to throw.
Yeah, and the issue with the laches going up from that cliffhanger ledge, it's a little bit awkward on the wrists and like timing going up in a forward grip on a cliffhanger ledge. So yeah, it's tough.
Absolutely. Well, that's going to do it for our placement course. We had Quite a lot of falls on the balance obstacle, but don't you worry. The challenge course is a lot more technical, a lot more grip intensive. And I would say that it plays a lot more to our athletes' strengths here. We saw a lot of them succeed on stages 2 and 3 of the World Championship courses, which are definitely more catered towards the upper body. So I do
Yeah,
think we're going to see some athletes shine, even if they fell early on this course.
yeah, definitely. And yeah, balance is something that's not as common to practice nowadays in Ninja. It's old school. Donovan's gone old school. He's a obviously Donovan, TJ, and Cal, but Donovan is a student of the game and has been for such a long time. And the things that Donovan has come up with today are really proof of that. Of course, we have, uh, balance, which is, an old school ninja staple, just any type of balance. You don't see that as much. It's usually all about laches and grip nowadays. And then you see obstacles like the wall lift starting off the course, better known as the Titan Slayer. And then we also just have old school stuff with, like the spider walk and things like that. So yeah, it's athletes are definitely having to learn to adapt. But the challenge course is more, like you said, more grip suited, and I think these athletes will be looking to have stronger runs coming up here in just a bit.
Absolutely. Obviously, a favorite that we have to keep our eye on coming into the challenge course is Jackson Van Sickle, who had the fastest time through the placement course. An incredibly impressive run, not just from a speed standpoint, but from a technical standpoint. That static from the X into the nunchuck is that type of creative thinking that can absolutely shave off those seconds during a challenge course run. And
And
that can be the difference between qualifying and not for the finals.
as you can see, yeah, Jackson just had so much confidence on all of these grabs. Just no problem. Just absolutely fast as well. I'm very excited to see if he can get to the VCR, because I feel like him and Will Perutka could absolutely beat this whole course. It's beat this whole course with the VCR drops as they are, because
Absolutely.
you can kind of see that middle one in the background, just behind our timing sheet, that it has, like, you got to grab the front side and then it slides forward, and then you got to do a throwback move and go throw back and like grab the side ledges. It's crazy.
Now, we definitely can't count out our amateur female division. We have one athlete, Bailey Gilbert, who shockingly went down on the laches of the placement course. Now, coming into the challenge course, the first few obstacles aren't necessarily lache based. They're going to require some funkier movements. And Bailey, because she is the only athlete in her division today, is going to have to beat the third obstacle in order to qualify for finals. Now, Philip, you've gone through quite a few formats in your time as a competitor. What's it like when the pressure is more on you versus the course and less about you and the course and your fellow competitors?
Yeah, so obviously you versus the course is the bare bones of Ninja. It's Ninja in its purest form. Because it's just all you have to worry about is beating a course, getting as far as you can, and yeah, I think I think that's just what Ninja's all about. Of course, competition is tight. You always want to beat the other athletes, but ultimately it's about beating the course.
Perfect. Great description. Now we've got one more clear to highlight, and that was out of Will Perutka, who definitely had a more traditional approach to the obstacles than Jackson. And it goes to show, again, that level of creative thinking can be the difference between first and second, or for some of our athletes, fourth and fifth, which is qualifying or not qualifying.
Yeah, and I feel like Will train. Well, I'm pretty sure he trains out of this area because he has Aiden Moran on his sidelines, And so it's got a very strong coach, but I feel like he might train at the bar, and seems kind of familiar to me. And so yeah, he moves a lot like the Folsoms do, and Tyler Smith. That's what his movement reminded me a lot of, and so definitely one to watch out for here coming up just in a bit. And
Absolutely. There's a
yeah,
lot of athletes that we could watch out for that will very much surprise us on this challenge course, given their not surprise us, but redeem themselves from their placement course performance.
so let's go down to the floor real quick with Donovan, one of our athletes.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with Joseph. Joseph, the placement course didn't go the way you wanted it to. What was your original strategy going into that one?
Yeah, so as I was thinking about the placement course, I was looking at the Lachey and thought, okay, I think I'll build up one swing on it because it's not a bar and I'll have time to build up a swing.
Yep.
But as I reached the obstacle, I knew that people were linking it, and if I wanted to get a fast time for the placement, I would have to link it. And I saw, as I was doing it, that it looked a little shorter than the 6 foot, so I was kind of conflicted in my mind mid-swing. So I tried to go for the link and just didn't have enough power, and then I grabbed
Making the
grab, a chalk back to my face, chalk up, and I missed a grab. So I'm thinking I'm losing my focus as I'm chalking up. So people take chalk and rub it on their pants. I wanted a more long-term solution throughout the ninja course. So why not just put chalk balls on the side of your mesh pocket?
innovation right there at its finest. Joseph, I hope everything goes well for you on the challenge course. Guys, back up to you.
Well, thank you so much, Donovan, for that interview with Joseph Rouse. He's one of those athletes that came up short on this placement course, but he's definitely a wild card, definitely one to watch out for. He's going to be setting the bar high. Thanks so much to Slap Chalks and Joseph. Big shout out to them, and of course, big shout out to DGS here. Addie Herman is a DGS athlete, our World Ninja League Elite Champion. DGS is our official partner of the World Ninja League Championships, and they build all the obstacles for our championships. And of course, they build obstacles for you and your gym. I have so many DGS obstacles in my backyard that I use all the time, and hopefully you can too, if you want. If you're very interested, you can, which I'm sure you will be because DGS is the best. You can go to dgsninja.com and find all sorts of obstacles. They have so many different partnerships with different athletes that have designed their own obstacles, such as there's the Barn Built line from Matt Bradley. They have the 111 line from Tom Alberti, just to name a few. So be sure to check them out.
Couldn't have said it better myself, Philip. And we're also sponsored today by NinjaWorks, the ultimate timing system for all things ninja. This has been powering the World Ninja League for the entire Premier Series and for many years before that. From ninja training, classes, competitions, and everything else that you might need a ninja timing system for, NinjaWorks comes with a buzzer, a timer, sounds, and lights, and so many more features. So if you ever want to host a competition, World Ninja League related, you can always join us, and NinjaWorks will come with it. The World Ninja League is proud to feature NinjaWorks as our official timing system, and with the help of NinjaWorks, the World Ninja League is able to track and publish all the results live during our competitions for all of you to see and provide our athletes with amazing season stats. We're so excited to power our Premier Series with the help of NinjaWorks. If you're interested in bringing NinjaWorks to your gym, email info@ninjaworks.com.
And thanks so much, Kane, for that. Of course, thanks to NinjaWorks. And now it's challenge course time. Thrown back to the floor.
All right. For those who are maybe still not totally familiar with the challenge course format, 2 retries, they have to be used on different obstacles, which mean you get a maximum of 3 fails on 3 different obstacles. Oh, interview.
And we have an interview with Bailey.
I've only been training for about 5 months now, but mostly probably through to the flying squirrels, just because I was on like a roller coaster at Worlds and it didn't go as planned, so a little bit of a redemption.
There we go. Redemption is here. Flying through there is also super fun. So guys, back up to you.
Yeah, as long as you can. Well, thanks, Donovan. As you could hear from Bailey, I think that she's definitely going to be looking for redemption. She'll be setting the bar high for all her athletes. I don't think that slip up early is indicative of her strength, of course, with any of our athletes. And, you know, I think that, yeah, she'll be definitely looking to get far here and obviously get through those first 3 obstacles. So, yeah, we'll see how she does. And,
Absolutely.
and then, as you can see, our format, as we were talking about, and, you know, I really like the challenge course format because it allows athletes to really regroup and think about how to approach the obstacle again. But they have to make their chance count, because if you fail a retry attempt, your run is done. And so usually the best thing is to just really commit to it, learn from those mistakes. For example, we saw a lot of athletes go out on the roller coaster yesterday, and something that I noticed with the roller coaster, you know, a lot of the athletes struggled with getting the timing down, and so many of the athletes were able to learn from their mistakes the first time around on the roller coaster, get the timing down, and get it on their second go. So hopefully we can see that again today.
Absolutely. And another great benefit of the challenge course is the fact that it lets the course designers really spread their wings a bit more than normal. Traditionally, you know, with one fall on an obstacle, course designers might say, oh, well, I can't make this course completely unbeatable, so I need to pull back because I don't think that a field can beat this obstacle on their first try. And with this retry system, it really does allow course designers to say, hey, let me make something a little tougher, because if they fall the first time, they're still learning, and we'll see if they can make those proper adjustments on their retry, which I think is so important for just showing how talented these athletes are. We were talking again about those VCRs, which you can see on the right side of the screen, just behind the course graphic there.
Yep.
Having the retries could be huge on those.
Oh yeah, definitely. Having at least one retry left in your pocket, because you can only use one retry on an obstacle. So it's okay if you have to use a retry before the VCRs, but yeah, I think, yeah, you're right. Definitely worth it to have one in your pocket there. And this obstacle is just crazy. I'm really curious to see if anybody can get it today, or all day for this matter. Not just this division. And it is a brutal obstacle from the mind of Kevin Brecky, who, of course, has made, as you know, so many obstacles that have become ninja staples. You can thank him for such things as canes, cane lane, ice pick, all that. That's all by Kevin. He's made other obstacles such as, of course, who can forget the infamous Angry Birds and the On Guard, and Crank It Up. He's made all sorts of crazy obstacles that have become just part of the ninja world. And now let's go to our rules video just to see what this course is like. Donovan, of course, is demonstrating here. As you can see, he's going through the eyeglass alley here, pushing up into.
Looks like we're starting back at the beginning here.
We're gonna go over the placement course and all the routes skip here, but this is gonna be the rule set for the amateur, teen, and elite group. You're gonna start right here on this gray piece of carbon bonded foam. We're gonna give you a 3, 2, 1. Your goal here is not to go over these boxes you want to lift. You probably should come on this side if you will.
Sorry.
You want to lift over here where the green is. Keep your fingers in here and then lift. Once you lift it up, as far as you want to go, it'll stay there. You just go under. Again, if you don't want to lift it super high, you don't have to. It'll stop there. And your last one is a little bit heavier. Lift, go under. Once you come into contact with this pad, that's your point for that first obstacle. Once you clear the plane. Next, you're going to walk or run your way over here to this incline board here. Only the green is in play. You can't grab anything black. And your goal is to get to the ring that's going to be over there. So I recommend going forward. Again, you cannot grab anything black. Once you get to the end here, you're going to reach out, grab this ring. And land on the green box here. The plane on this one, just so we're clear, is this. Oh, this is the start finish. So just make sure you clear this and stay on the box. Start finish platform. Don't fall off. Next, cliffhanger. For the elite ladies, you all are gonna start. This won't be a start finish at that point, but the ladies are gonna start on this cliffhanger here. Everyone else, you're starting down here. Use whatever cliffhangers you want to get up there. Your goal is the green box at the very end. Right here, landing platform. That's it for the cliffhanger. Next, you're gonna be doing the jumping spider. You wanna land on the green box. At the very end of this one, you can go straight, you can go up. You just have to get all the way to this green box here. Now to start finish, so once you land here, you can touch the ground. After this, you're doing the roller coaster slider down to the two Da Vinci arrows. The adults, you guys have to land on the longer green box. The other green box won't be there for you, so you won't get confused. Well, yes, it will, because you need to get to the rope. But the elites, you guys are dismounting to the right, to the small box. I'll show the elite version. Then you guys are just dismount here. After you land there, or at least after you land here, in teams and amateurs there, you guys are gonna start here on the next obstacle. You can use the rope to make it up to the devil steps. For the elite ladies and the teens,
And the amateurs.
it's the hourglass will already be placed on the cradles. You just have to make the lache to the eyeglass, and then to the eye of the bullseye. And then you can go all the way down this road to the hammers. The one is in a normal orientation, the other one is backwards. You can grab whatever you want to on the hammers. Just get to the green box at the end. Oh, Calvin, I'm filming it today. Clear. Correction on this one. The elite ladies, teens, and amateurs, after you get to this bullseye, you'll have a platform here. And then you finish out on the hammers or the mallets. Grab wherever you want to, land on the green box. Now to start finish platform, so once you touch it, you can proceed forward, but your next starting platform is here. Elite, you guys will have the batarang here, so you can't come into contact. I mean, you can't grab the fidget spinners with your hands. You guys have to use this. Everyone else, you guys are just using the fidget spinners all the way down to sideways here. Make sure that you don't grab the front. I'm gonna call this the front and back. Back front, same thing. Just don't grab those portions. Your hands can touch the tape, but if I see your hand go in the front or the back, I'm gonna DQ you on that one. Same thing on this one. The sides, well on this one, wherever the white tape is, don't grab the white tape. Just get to the sideways, make your way to the 9 moving V formation and pegs all the way down to a green box that's gonna be right here. I don't know where that box clear on this obstacle once you get to this green box. Next up, we have red tubes. Use the red tubes to get to the green box at the end. Do your best not to grab the straps. Hands only on this one, no feet, no legs. Watch your face. Land here. And cut. So that's gonna be your final obstacle. Kings and elites, you guys will have, the males will have 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Females, you're gonna have 4 minutes. Good luck.
That was a great course out of TJ, Cal, and Donovan, which we will be seeing very shortly, our challenge course here at the WNL Premier Series qualifier at Motus Ninjas in Kansas City, Missouri. Now, we were talking a lot about the VCRs, which is that final obstacle you saw in the rules video. And yes, super challenging, super technical. However, getting there is no easy feat at all. There are a lot of obstacles that popped up on my radar. One of those being that battering move through the fidget spinners. Philip, how's your knowledge of the more technical flying object obstacles like that?
Yeah, so obviously that's kind of been something that's new school ninja. We have a lot of old school in this course, but that is definitely a new school element. And things like bar tech, ring tech, and things like the bat and the canes and all that like that. Those, it took me a long time to, start really training when I realized, oh yeah, this is a necessity of ninja now, and it's very interesting to see this being tested. I'm really looking forward to it. Batterings are a lot of fun, but they require a lot of timing, a lot of shoulder strength to keep yourself balanced, especially when you have to go through these little shades like this. Very interested to see how our athletes will fare here, as we're going to get started very shortly with Bailey taking on the course.
Now, just a reminder for those, Bailey is the only amateur female athlete today, so she does not need to make the top 4. She's going to have to beat the first 3 obstacles of this course. The third obstacle of the challenge course is none other than the cliffhanger. So she's going to have to get there and beat it in order to punch her ticket into the finals.
Absolutely, and she's ready to go, getting ready for a wall lift to start it out. I was like, when I first saw this, I'm like, oh, this is Donovan.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Donovan's a very old school ninja fan who we've known online. We knew him online before we ever met him in person and stuff, through being old school ninja fans with him. So seeing the little seeing that influence there is very nice. But now we've got Bailey Gilbert taking on the course. first challenge course run of the day. She sizes up the Titan Slayer.
Making nice work of this.
And to the corner.
Nice and steady through. Now she's moving on into
The
these
incline.
incline cliffs. Right, this undercling that's right up against the wall, that's angled back far.
Down she goes.
Take a little break in 3.
But you know what? It's
2,
okay. Her timer is
1,
frozen. She's going
go.
to chalk up, and she's going to get to use her first of 2 retries here.
Yeah, and now she knows what she has to do to get through. She has to keep herself close to this wall. Oh no!
Oh! And that's not only going to cost her her run, but that's going to prevent her from qualifying for finals today.
Yeah, that close, so close. She's starting to figure it out, but yeah, the grip gave out. Just pinching, you got to use your thumbs on the top, which makes it's very different. But yeah, still, hopefully we can see Bailey again competing the rest of sometime this season or next season in the World Ninja League Season 9. And now we'll get ready for our guys competing. Obviously, yeah, just so many wild cards, so many athletes that are running early that will be trying to set the bar high, and very interested to see how this is going to go. I'm really looking forward to it because I think it's going to be a really tight battle, those top 4.
Absolutely. And we were talking about how we saw a lot of fails on laches and balance obstacles in the placement course, but this challenge course a lot more geared towards our grip intensive athletes. I think that's the general that's a large majority of our field today, Philip. So I do think that we'll see a lot more success on this challenge course out of our amateur male division today as we get started with Bryce Robbins.
3, 2,
Yeah, but even if you
1,
are
go.
better at grip, more comfortable with grip, this course is a burner. We saw it yesterday. It's just,
Clear over here in the corner.
it's so taxing no matter how good your grip is. So it's going to be all about saving that energy, being efficient all through the course.
Ooh, a foot slip out of Bryce, but he saves it and slips down again. Couldn't get his right foot to bump out to that foothold.
Go.
Yeah, and I think as we get to these older age groups, this obstacle in particular is going to be tougher and tougher because you can have less. Your fingers are too big. Oh,
Give it up for
get that
Bryce!
figured out there. Unfortunate, but as you can see, it's just, yeah, a lot of the kids were able to figure it out, but the issue is, adult hands are a lot bigger, and
I was about to ask about that.
Yep, and those cliffhanger ledges are just definitely not big at all. So next up we got Joseph Rouse, I think Mr. Slapchalk himself. Shoutouts to Slapchalks if you ever want to check them out. Be sure to. And they make all sorts of cool shorts. As you can see, he's wearing those Slapchalk shorts, and now he's ready to go on these wall lifts. Good, nice and smooth. Right up against the wall, using those legs.
Clear into the corner.
Now he's going to step up to the incline cliffs. We haven't seen anybody beat it today just yet. You have to think, not only is it the adult-sized hands, but these are some taller athletes that are going to have to try and counter more body weight. And it looks like Joseph
Absolutely.
Rouse
Ooh,
got
that's a
the hang
big
of it.
grab. Yeah,
And he's going to be our first onto the cliffhanger today.
Yeah, that reach to the ring is a lot farther than yesterday.
Again, start, finish,
And
platform,
he's
stick it.
moving nice and smooth through the cliffhanger.
He's not going to waste any time.
Yep, right into Spider Walk.
Clear.
He makes it. Now, getting ready for what was the ninja killer for most of yesterday. Pipe coaster. He makes it without much kip. He kind of just timed it right, got that kip forward. It's
Not
nice
a
and
problem
smooth.
dismounting from that flying squirrel. As he now jumps up to our first, I would say, truly killer obstacles, the eyeglass lane. Gonna have to Is he going to go for that lache automatically to the bullseye? No, he's going to lock it in. Swinging with both of your eyeglasses on one side only could cause it to pop out. So I like this mixed technique, preventing it from really swinging one way and the other. And as you can see, it stays caught on the hooks for the most part. As Joseph Rouse now takes on the hammers. Now this backwards hammer is going to be a very tricky grab.
Yeah, and as you can see, the big tricky part of these hammers is the swing arm is offset. So, so it really messes with your timing and just like thinking about, you got to really think about where you're putting those hands on those hammers.
It looks like no batarangs for our amateur division. Gonna just pop right through those fidget spinners. And is gonna come up to that board, shuffle his way on through.
Yeah, I'm sure, these courses are scaled for each division. And this is by no means an easy course without it.
Well, Joseph certainly making it look easy.
Oh yeah, he's looking very smooth, but time is at a premium on this course. We saw yesterday too, for a lot of our athletes, it's tough to have enough time left. He has 40 seconds left with 2 obstacles.
That means he's going to have to beat these on his first try. But he missed the first grab. You know what? It was 30 seconds. It's an early enough fall for him to still get through this obstacle and give the VCRs an attempt.
3, 2, 1.
Yep, I think he can get through these tubes. As long as he just needs to get these hips high, and he does.
Great pump. And another great drop and catch. He's going to have to touch down, give it one backswing, maybe one more. Nope, he's going to stick it.
Taking a breather.
Kevin's VCR.
Taking a breather, going for that first hop back. Oh, can't quite get it.
Just got it stuck. It actually reset itself on that throw. But still an amazing run out of Joseph Rouse, setting the bar very high for our athletes early on. Our second runner in the amateur male division. And he's made it to the final obstacle.
Yeah, definitely. This could be good enough for him to get to the Premier Series finals, but we'll just have to wait and see. He was really solid through this whole run. Time started to become a factor, though, at the end. But as you can see, these barrels, those they kind of just stay in place and sway like not much at all. That makes it really tricky to try to get that swing up, especially since they spin, I'm pretty sure. So, yeah, as you can see, Joseph getting to the last obstacle. Hopefully we can see more of our athletes get through to that last obstacle, see if anybody can beat it. And another athlete that went out earlier than he had hoped for, Max Wozniak, is up next.
Yeah, Max was a very surprising fall. Made it all the way to the throwback on stage 1 of the World Championship last season. Second place in the North Central region, 45th place at the Season 8 Championships overall. Definitely someone that you would not expect to have seen fall on a lache obstacle, but nevertheless, he's back, ready for redemption. It looks like we're going to just give it a couple minutes before, or a short period of time before we take it back to the starting block. And looking at this run order, so many capable ninjas here. It's incredibly, like this placement course was just an anomaly. Looking at how many athletes I've seen on podiums, how many I've seen, go so high up in the power ranking. It's just mind-blowing to see how killer that placement course was for them.
Definitely, and it's just to show just how tough this course has been, both the placement and the challenge. It's scaled really well. It is the best of the best, so I think it's been scaled really well to challenge these athletes the best they possibly can. And here we go. Here's Max.
All right. And something I did want to mention about this course as well. It feels like there are 3 different obstacles that could have been the final obstacle and they're
Yeah.
all back to back as well. It's so pumpy and tricky, and it's just like when you think, man, I got through the hard part, there's another one waiting for you. It's crazy.
Absolutely, you're right. And they have been last obstacles before. Obviously, second to last obstacle, the red tubes were the aerial barrel in season 7 Worlds.
Season 5 had the fidget finale as well.
Yep. And yeah, oh yeah, you're right. Yep, that was a few years ago, and yeah, so this is you're getting a history lesson in Ninja here, this whole course.
Clear.
Oh yeah, and this is almost just a trip through time as we go from the late 90s basically all the way till now, and Max takes his first fall on the incline cliffs. Looks like he's gonna try and walk forward and use the side of the cliff ledges. I like that strategy.
Oh no!
He peeled off anyways.
Give it up for Max.
Tough
That was
break.
not expected out of Max. Again, not indicative of his full potential.
Yeah, it's a weird obstacle. It's a different technique that these athletes are not familiar with. Later on in the course are more familiar movements, but in order to get there, you have to get through some interesting new things like the wall lift and the incline cliffs.
As we were saying, though, a trip through time in a way with this course, going from the earlier days of Ninja to the more modern days.
I was just turning on
And we've
tilt
definitely
all
got
as I'm
someone
going
who's
up and
seen
down.
a lot of that. It's OG Ninja Chad Hone, owns Level Up in Thomasville, North Carolina. And even his bio, he wrote, "I've been around a while," when there were only a handful of gyms in the country. Goes to show he's been around since this sport's humble beginnings.
Definitely.
And, now he's competing and coaching, trying to keep up with the other athletes while bringing in a new generation.
Absolutely. He still loves to train. Still really strong. Has his sons compete with him too. And
Yeah,
I'm sure you can speak I'm sure you can speak to their skill as well since you train with them at Level Up.
I will say no disrespect to any of my training partners, but Chad's sons are the best ninjas at Level Up, and they're so impressive to watch. We saw his son Blake qualify in preteens at Motive, and his son Nathan will be competing in teens later today to try and join Blake and possibly Chad, as he's made it through the incline cliffs and is now taking on the cliffhanger. Only our second athlete so far to do that so far.
Absolutely, and now he's eyeing up the spider walk. Moving on through. No problem.
Being a
Very
little
quickly
cautious
through
about
there.
it.
Yeah, it looked pretty efficient to me. I think, you don't want to go full speed like it's, the last obstacle, but as he heads on to he got through the flying. Yeah, he got through the coaster, no problem, and through now to this last one.
Flying Squirrel, another final obstacle from way back when.
Yeah,
And it looks like he's now going to shake out a little bit before reaching that rope. Coming on up to the eyeglass lane. You can see that devil step kind of swiveling around. And now he's going to want to make that move. You can see on the backswing, but he's just going to go for it. Is it going to pop out? It does pop out.
I saw that happen.
Yeah, that is the risk of not making that adjustment on the eyeglass. Chad's going to have to use his first retry, make that adjustment, and then go for that swing.
Yep. So here he goes now. Or not use as much backswing. If you are what we saw yesterday from the athletes that kept it on the back, you have to go pretty much right away, hollow out that back, get it, get that swing. But this time it shouldn't be a problem for him. But he misses.
Missed the grab, and that's going to end Chad's run. Currently puts him in second place. but the door is open, and his spot on the leaderboard could very much be in trouble. Still a great run out of Chad. Was only the second athlete today to get through the incline cliffs, and he took on the rest of the course with relative ease. We saw very smooth movements and perfect timing through that coaster, but it was on that backswing, on that eyeglass, had the hang of it, but just missed the grab on that bullseye.
Yeah, just a little short there, but still, I think that puts him in second so far, so yep, it sure does.
And with that, we have 4 athletes who have run the challenge course. The top 4 do qualify for the Premier Series finals, so from now on, someone will be bumped out of finals contention with every runner. Silas Osterhoff is going to be our next competitor.
1, go.
Here he goes.
Rush right through it.
Another athlete looking for revenge.
That corner.
Absolutely, we're still in our batch of athletes who was tripped up by the balance obstacles. So Silas looking to maybe put more of his grip strength and maneuvering. No! Tried to hold on to it with a very solid pinch, but just peeled off, went too low, and gravity took him down. Gonna go for the bottom set of ledges. Nope, the middle set.
He's just not sure. Oh, but his hips, he's really having to struggle.
The board is peeling back now. You can see those straps.
Yeah, I think he kind of like pushed it a little forward is the issue, so it kind of like went back and then forth. Now it's back into the position it was.
Yeah, Silas trying to keep it steady this time. You can see a little bit of shakiness out of him.
Oh,
and
what a save!
Save. Back almost touching the ground, but a great adjustment of the legs and hips there.
Yeah, but those arms were shaking. His grip strength. Yeah, his grip has got to be taxed here.
You can see you don't necessarily need lock-offs for this cliffhanger, but you can also see that Silas is not locked off right now. You'd have to think his hands might be a little taxed right now.
Definitely. And as you can see, he does get through it, but yeah, his grip, he does look pretty worn out. That took a lot of his time.
Yeah, and his feet are also slipping on the spider. He's going to make it through, but he's really pushing it right now.
You're good. Very good.
And it looks like he's gotten his groove. He's going to come up to the coaster, into the flying squirrel.
Thankfully, this obstacle isn't really too much about grip strength. But yeah, he really had to give it his absolute maximum for that, to get through that pinch. But he does get through flying squirrel. Jump up onto it. And he makes the lache.
Philip, when you're tired, how tough is it to generate momentum on an obstacle like the flying squirrel?
It's tough. You got, like, your core just feels like a sandbag more than anything. And obviously your arms, if your arms are tired, they just feel like jelly. You feel like you want to move them, but you can't really, but you can't really. You just, like, you're trying to just will your arms to, like, move where you want them to.
And a great move out of Silas there. 40 seconds remaining on the clock, a little under. And it looks like he's going to have to go for that bullseye. If he gets that, he hops into second place. But you can see him looking at that backside. Oh, went for the dismount instead. And is going to use his second of 2 retries, which means every attempt on an obstacle from this moment forward is officially make or break.
Absolutely, because now he's really worn out, but he does get a little bit of a breather.
Right in front of the
Headed now into Eyeglass Lane. He's gonna go for it.
Is he gonna go for it? He is. And
Oh,
he's
so
just
close.
didn't pick it. A very strong fight out of Silas Osterhoff, as he didn't look all that confident after spending a lot of time on the incline cliffs. But
Then he
managed
just
to push
gets it.
through. What a great save as well. on that ring swing.
Yeah, and he just kept fighting all the way through. Still made it quite a bit of ways into the course. So hats off to him. He really fought through that one.
Absolutely.
You
And
can see.
that's going to put Silas in third place at the moment, bumping Max out of the top 4 and putting Bryce Robbins on the bubble. Which does mean that top 4 right now, you have to beat the second obstacle, the incline cliffs. Of course, it's incredibly likely and expected that that bar is going to be raised as more runners take on the course.
Absolutely. As next we have
3,
Curtis
2,
Boucher
1, go.
getting ready to roll.
Really locking in that wall. Big power, great lifting out of Curtis.
Clear.
You can see the cannonball pulley system bouncing because of the amount of force that he pulled that with. Coming onto the incline cliffs, looks a lot more comfortable than a lot of our other athletes have been. Just making the small minor adjustments so that way he can stay steady. And now he's just going to have to reach out for that ring. Great, very smooth out of Curtis.
Yep, he's looking really strong here. Very steady momentum here through the cliffhangers. Good rhythm.
Start, finish, don't fall off.
And a nice hop down. And, oh, a little slip there on the jumping spider. I definitely respect that he's hustling right through it, though. It is one of those obstacles. It's not necessarily super taxing. It's more, honestly, a time waster than anything. So getting through that as quickly as you can is definitely good for your position on the leaderboard and your time limit. And a pop over, one hand grab on the flying squirrel, and then matching shortly after.
Full commitment right there. Because now he's headed up into the eyeglass lane.
And I believe his time to this point puts him in second place. A good locked off grab. Trying to avoid hitting that spine behind him. Now he's just going to have to make that eyeglass
Made
move.
it easy.
Coming up to the big move. This is where we saw Silas gas out and go for that early dismount. This is also where we saw Chad fall. And Curtis is going to use his first retry.
I think he was thinking a bit.
Attempts.
I think he was thinking a bit too much about that backswing there. 'Cause it just looked like he threw forward more than his backswing would have let him. And so he just has to be confident that just has to keep that core strong, get those hips back for that lache. And he needs to remember, yep, here he goes. Is he going to go for it right here?
And he just taps it with his finger, but isn't able to hold on. Still a great run out of Curtis. One of our more efficient runs that we've had so far. Definitely the smoothest we've seen anyone get through the incline cliffs.
Yep, and then full commitment here. Got it. First go, and then just backside came undone from there, and then, yeah, he just didn't quite have the swing to get up there, but still, yep, very solid run. That puts him in second for now.
And that means that Silas is now on the bubble, which does mean the new cutoff, you have to make it to the eyeglass lane in under 2:19. But of course, beating that obstacle betters your odds of qualifying for the finals. Something for Logan Polion to maybe keep in mind.
Logan's off. He is through all three of these walls, running right over.
I like the urgency.
Yeah, but he has to remember to keep himself close to that wall, use that leverage.
Logan trains out of the Warrior Factory in Buffalo. Has
As
the
you can
saying
see.
in his bio, be comfortable being uncomfortable. Well, this is an uncomfortable obstacle. Whoa, with the foot slip. He saves it.
And he gets the
Definitely
ring.
living up to his motto there.
Clear.
Yep, and he's He's just moving through at a nice steady pace through these cliff ledges, no problem.
Not a problem for Logan. And again, we're seeing people jump right into that jumping spider, not bothering to waste any time as he takes on now the roller coaster, only having used 40 seconds of his time limit so far. Oh, but doesn't have the timing right for that. He's going to have to try again on the coaster. Misses that first grab. That initial kip is so essential to getting through this efficiently, and it's just he bailed out on that, did not go when he should have committed.
Yeah, but it isn't impossible to save it though. You just gotta hollow out and then kind of like throw it forward.
And here we go. Let's see if Logan can get it this time around. He's gonna nope. He's gonna try again.
He's gotta hollow out and then kick back and then go.
And but it looked like that's what he wanted to do. He almost resets the entire coaster. And down goes Logan. Just didn't come in hot enough. And that's not going to be enough to put him in the top 4.
No, unfortunate. As you can see, yeah, he just missed on that first attempt and then just couldn't get it on that second. It's tough just to get that timing and getting that. The most ideal technique is kind of like hollowing out and then sending yourself back to throw the bar forward before, so you get enough of like a pendulum swing at the very bottom. Next up we have Thomas Schwartz out of Midwest
Thomas, get ready.
Warriors.
3, 2, 1, go.
Thomas was 6th place in the North Central region this past season, making quick work of the Titan Slayer.
Clear, head to that corner.
At a very steady pace.
Coaches the Amara siblings that competed yesterday and looked very strong.
So far, Thomas looks very comfortable on this obstacle, taking a very rhythmic approach, which I like. The consistency definitely pays off as he gets that quick dismount.
Clear.
And is now sizing up the cliffhanger.
Moving on through. Key to the cliffhanger is just being steady, keeping that rhythm. Skips the ledge, no problem. Now, just eyeing up that dismount nice and smooth.
And again, no time wasted on the jumping spider. He's going to shuffle on through. And come up to where we just saw Logan go down. The roller coaster to Flying Squirrel.
Yep. And he's going to have to think about his timing here. Yep, hollow out.
Good
go
throw.
back. There it is.
It.
Yep, that's exactly that technique I was talking about. That hollow out, then throw yourself back.
Finish, stick it on the platform.
No problem. Now he has 2 minutes left as he heads onto the eyeglass. And he's getting up into it. He's going to go for that forward lache up into the eyeglass. Down into it, should I say. And then he's going to move that eyeglass over, securing it in place best he can.
Oh, is he
Looks like
going to
he's
make
good.
that adjustment on the front side? Now, this is not as likely to come out the front as it is the back, but it is still a possibility. And he brought it with him and almost took out the entire bullseye.
Yeah, when you got something on the front hook, it's so easy for it to just come with you, even if you try to let go. So he has to just readjust, and he had that. You just gotta. I'd say this time just go for one side.
Absolutely. Keep that straddled and not necessarily locked in, but as locked in as you could possibly have an eyeglass. There we go. Looks like he's going for the backswing, and that's where he goes down.
Give it up for Thomas!
That looked good though. That looked good though. He learned from his mistakes. He decided to just go for it on the back instead, and he had a really good backswing. He looked like, as you will see Here, had a really good backswing, really good momentum with his hips, but just couldn't make that grab.
That is going to put Thomas in third place by 2 seconds, putting Chad Hone on the bubble and knocking Silas Osterhoff off out of the top 4. Philip, Joseph Rouse's run early on is still in first place.
Oh yeah, I think he was.
Get ready.
Face this way.
I think he obviously that he just
2, 1.
he just made that error in really early on in the placement course, but definitely not indicative of his strength. He came out, set the bar really high. But can Lulu get to where he did?
Lulu is an incredibly strong athlete. Had the privilege of meeting him, and I didn't have a coach on my sideline when I was at the Tier 2 championship, and Lulu was kind enough to go over some beta on the obstacles. He's got a very analytical mind, and you can see that he's planned out his approach on the incline cliffs and presumably the rest of the course as well.
Yeah, really good staying close to that wall there. Now heading on through into the cliffhanger.
Start, finish platform.
Reach on down. Has to adjust his swing a little, but he's all good.
Nice and quick through. Spider walk.
No slipping on there either whatsoever. We saw a few people slipping, but
Nice hollow.
good
back.
throw. Oh, tried to static it,
I think he just forgot to let go with that one hand.
and now he's gonna have to generate swing to come back. I
I
like
think he can get it here. I think he can get it here.
There it is.
And he's got it.
Great recovery from Lulu. And but he missed the catch.
Oh no!
You can see those pegs on the flying squirrel are smaller on the second cradle, but still a surprising fall.
But now he knows the timing. He knows what he has to do here, so hopefully he can get it together here.
1, go.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, even if he makes it through this obstacle, it will not be fast enough to run in the top 4. So he's going to have to beat the eyeglass lane if he wants to better his chances of making finals.
Start, finish platform.
Alright,
All
he's
right.
got it.
Moment of truth.
Heading up into the eyeglass. Still has one retry in his pocket.
All right, let's see what his approach is going to be. It looks like he's going for at least one switch move here. And here we go. We've only seen Joseph Rouse get this bullseye today.
Oh, and he
just
misses
missed
it. Just.
And that's going to use Lulu's second retry.
Yeah.
Again, athletes
Let's have
only
that
get
retry.
2 retries on 2 different obstacles, so everything from now on is one and done.
You go.
How much gas does he have left in the tank?
You can see him really breathing through it, but also really pumping his way through. A good flop to the eyeglasses. Now is he going to have to... Oh, great adjustment there.
His
Good move now.
core's,
I
His
like that he's
core's-
keeping his momentum as well.
core's looking kind of loose
Oh!
there.
Give it up for Lulu.
Yeah. Just couldn't quite have. I just think he's just out of gas in the tank there. After saving it. Having that save and having to do the roller coaster twice and that twice, he just ran out of gas.
It was such a strong run up to that point, even with a great recovery on that coaster, which we can see right here as he hollows and catches. Had a surprising slip up there, but on his second attempt, managed to stick it. That is going to land Lulu at the moment in 5th place, if I'm not mistaken. And that does mean that we will not be seeing him in the finals. Time to beat to get into the top 4 is still Chad Hone's run to the eyeglass lane in 1 minute 29 seconds. We'll see if Carter Whitman can possibly take one of those 4 spots. This is an athlete, we were talking about wild cards earlier, Philip. This is an athlete who has beaten stage 2 before at the World Championship. He's definitely very capable of going far into this course. Just didn't get to fully show that on the placement course.
Absolutely. Carter out of Vermont Ninja Warrior, I believe, with Amir Malik from the Elite Division. He's just got to keep these feet close, keep your whole core close to the wall. He's really having to strain on these, but he's making it through.
Using that reach to his advantage. As he comes up to the cliffhanger. Again, you don't necessarily need to be locked off, but it can make you go faster. And very smooth so far.
Right
Just
through the
popping
spider.
right. And it's only been a minute for Carter Whitman, which means he has 30 seconds to get through this obstacle, and he's in the top 4.
There he goes.
Oh, but didn't have the swing there.
Has
Gonna
to
have to
pop back.
that. There it is.
And he gets it. Wasn't sure about the timing, but he still made it work. Got the throw on the front.
And if I'm not mistaken, that does put him in the top 4. But beating this obstacle will further cement that and put him in the top 2 behind Joseph Rouse. Is he going for that swing, Philip? He is.
Yeah, he is. He's driving those hips, but
Trying to get a better look at the straps on the bullseye. Wonder if it would be easier to almost grab the top of it, or if that would tip down on you.
I think it would tip down. So, but we saw a lot of athletes yesterday grab the middle and bottom, like one hand on either, and that seemed to work really well. So we'll see what Carter's approach is here if he can make that grab.
Well, we could see that he changed his strategy a little, locking in the eyeglass on the other side. Able to generate more of a backswing there.
And he
goes
makes
for
the dismount. Skips right away.
And he's going to be our second athlete today to take on the Hammers.
Let's regain that momentum here. Grab on either side of this hammer. Oh,
And-
it just
oh.
slips.
Might just be a little gas. This is a very taxing course. He does get to use his second retry, chalking up as he waits for the course to be reset. And like I said, Philip, this is someone who could go very deep into the course. Here he is on obstacle 7
just
10, but
slips
down
up.
he goes. Still a very solid run out of Carter Whitman. Puts him in second place for the time being, and in a very good spot to advance to the finals.
Definitely. That's a solid run, and really impressive how he was able to readjust on the eyeglass alley and decide, oh, you know what, I should skip. I think he might have just decided in midair. He's like, okay, I think I can make this, and then just went for it.
Wonder
then-
if we'll see more of that.
Yeah, and what happened there was he just didn't have the grip on that right, and the issue was he kind of just pushed, because it swings back that second one, so he kind of just pushed with one hand. He didn't wrap around with his left hand first, and so he just kind of pushed it out of the way.
We're now down to our final 5 runners, and we're going to be moving on to Ernesto Perez right now.
3, 2, 1, go.
So,
Yeah. Through.
just having him grip a little bit.
Yep.
Starting on his knee is a very interesting
Look
approach,
here,
but he's just going to
corner.
kind of squeeze his way through. And I think they're going to have him redo the Titan Slayer.
Keep going. I'm sorry. I hit the wrong
You are not allowed to touch black on it. Oh, never mind. It looks like Donovan's giving him the okay. Perhaps ruled incidental or just a misclick of the Ninja Works button there.
Donovan hit the wrong button.
Any event, it's got to be nice and steady here. Oh, he
Oh,
just
but
slips
down he
up.
goes. And he's going to use his first retry not on the Titan Slayer, but on the incline
3,
cliffs.
2, 1, go.
Oh, he's going to try and push it. Or not. Decides that it's better to keep the
Donovan
board
says the run is good now.
in its original position.
Oh,
Down he goes.
just slips off.
Give it up for Ernesto!
And that's going to do it for Ernesto's run. Which means our top 4 remains intact for now, but with 4 more runners to go, anything can happen, and no one is safe right now. Not even Joseph Rouse, who made it to the final obstacle.
Absolutely. This is going to be a nail biter for some of these athletes that are on the bubble. So you can all see as you can see, they all had pretty similar times, that 3rd, 4th, and 5th, all to that point. But here's Bo Lewis looking for his spot at the Premier Series Finals.
Bo Lewis trains out of Iron Sports, made it to stage 2 at the World Championship this past year. Says he is the most epic ninja that is named Bo.
That's probably true. And
Now this is
Be
where I'm
interesting to
concerned for Bo here. 6'3",
but that means he can get a lot of leverage really high up.
This is true. Just has to make his footwork stay. Oh,
He can really pull. Oh,
and down he goes.
3, 2, 1, go.
Gonna chalk up. Now he has to beat this or his run will end, like so many others who have fallen on the incline cliffs.
Is to stay close to that wall.
Keep it throughout the entire time, because if it comes back, it's gonna pull back.
He's leaning back. He's gonna have to correct it. And the camera freezes. We don't know what's happening.
And
He
he
grabs
gets
the
it.
ring. He grabs the
What
ring
a
and he
save.
almost went over the platform, but he saves it, and now he's gonna pop right onto the cliffhanger.
Oh, great save there. It was definitely looking to be tough for him with that height. But now he can really show his strength here.
Not the fastest time to this point. Definitely not going to be fast enough to get through the to get to the eyeglass lane in time for top 4. He's going to have to beat that obstacle.
Yep. Just needs to take a breather.
And it looks like he missed. Oh, he almost mistimed that, but grabs the outside outflying swirl. Makes a good grab. Links that.
And he makes it.
Now comes up to the eyeglass lane. 1:30 left. Not the most amount of time.
I wonder if he took note of the last run. Thinking about doing that. Skipping to...
I think that might be the best strategy.
the dismount.
Hopping that ring around. Nope, it looks like he might go straight for that backswing. Really trying to control it. And goes for the dismount. His foot touches, but he crossed the plane. It's going to be ruled as okay.
Incidental. Yeah, I think it was just incidental.
Which does put him in the top 4, and he's moving on to the hammers. Now, we've seen him beat the hammers at the World Championship. But he looks a little gassed.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, go.
Gonna try again. That backwards grab on the hammer, so tricky. But Bo
He gets the
it.
first one.
Now has to make the second one.
Oh, he
does,
gets
but he's
it.
flipping off the front. He has to dismount early. And he's through, I believe. Waiting for a camera pan, and it looks
Yep,
like
he's got it.
Well, obviously,
Or did he?
I'm really not sure what's happening right now.
Oh, yeah, I
And it
think
looks
he...
like his run is over. I don't think he got that dismount.
But he... Hard fight there. Made it through
Platform. Touch the other platform.
that, and then... Yeah, the rest of the run was just quite the fight.
Absolutely.
maybe we should have him like
Definitely had us going back and forth, but that's going to put Bo in 3rd place, right behind Joseph Rouse and Carter Whitman. Now, this does also mean that Joseph Rouse is guaranteed a spot in the Premier Series finals with only 3 runners left. He cannot be knocked out of that top 4, so congratulations to him.
Ryan, get ready.
Yep,
Three,
we will be seeing
2,
Joseph
1, go.
in Brooklyn. And now we got Ryan, homegrown ninja, out of Motus. And he's moving through his walls, really lifting that one.
And again, Ryan, another one of our taller athletes here. We saw Bo kind of not necessarily struggle, but be a little awkward on this obstacle. Ryan trying to avoid replicating that. Is still kind of straddling in a funny position, but is making it work. Still very quick through the incline cliffs. Now just has to reach for that ring. And there's the dismount. Coming up to the cliffhanger.
Ready for these cliffhangers.
Now time does matter. So of course, he's going to want to be speedy through these earlier obstacles. Incline cliffs and cliffhanger, not exactly speedy obstacles, but if you move efficiently enough, you could still have a lot of time left over for the back half of the course.
Here he moves through the jumping spider. No problem. Now getting ready for roller coaster to flying squirrel. Just have to remember the timing here.
Goes for an initial backswing, tries to hollow, but maybe does it a little too early.
Gets up right back to the start.
And there it is.
Muscles
Face
his
the cat.
way over.
Doesn't have the most amount of time left, 1:40 on the clock for some pretty tricky obstacles, including the eyeglass lane, which he's about to face as soon as he gets this dismount.
Shaking out now. I ended up getting ready. But he's looking kind of gassed. Time's at a premium here.
Here we go, 1:10 left. And we'll see what strategy he's used. We've seen
Stuck to the wall.
3 people make it through this obstacle, and all 3 of them use different techniques here. Looks like he's going to do what Bo did.
Oh, back
Just
foot.
falls short of that platform. Now has 1 attempt left on the eyeglass lane, or his run will end. And he's going to have to beat it because his time to this point is not fast enough to crack into the top 4.
Yep, he's going to have to get this and then beat the mallets afterwards.
And he almost grabs onto the bullseye.
Quite make it.
But down goes Ryan Foster. Still a very strong run. We're seeing a lot of these athletes get just very taxed from this course. And we're seeing their level of resiliency here. Goes to show why they're part of our top 25% of athletes in the regular season.
I think it's because it's just such a different start to the course. You know, you got the wall lift, and then not only that, then you have the incline cliffs, which really use up all those muscles in your arms and your core.
Well, we know Joseph Rouse and now Carter Whitman will be advancing to the finals. 2 spots remaining, 2 runners left. Will Peruka, our first of 2 placement course buzzers, moving with that same speed and urgency.
There you go. Put your head over there.
And not wasting any time as he takes on the incline cliffs.
To keep himself close.
Looking to see how much time he has left on the board. Yeah, very quick to this point. Not even 30 seconds in, and he's about to finish the second obstacle. Oh, we're seeing a lot of athletes overshoot that with the ring, but still a great adjustment in midair. And Will is flying through this cliffhanger. Yep, I would say a lot of people's spots in the finals are in trouble right now.
Definitely, he's flying so far through this course. He's gonna hollow back. No problem through there.
Flawless technique.
Links right to the dismount.
I believe this is the fastest we've seen anyone get to the eyeglass lane. That does mean that he is currently in 4th place, but to get even further up the leaderboard, he's going to have to beat this obstacle. Ooh, looks like he wants to go for that hop. He grabs
And
the
he gets
bullseye
grabs
around
the
the
sides.
side.
Yeah, interesting.
He's
He
only
still
been
has
on
2
the
minutes
course.
left.
He's only been on the course for 90 seconds, and he's, I believe with that, he's in 2nd place. We will be seeing him in the finals.
Yep, really nice grabs here.
I can go past, right?
Such a strong run so far. Has not used any of his retries yet either. Hasn't had to. He's going to come up to the fidget spinners, into those boards, and down the pegs. It's a rather pumpy obstacle. You can see him shaking out, chalking up, making sure he's ready for this home stretch of the course.
He's going to link
through.
here.
Ooh, good static. And you can see that board goes on an incline as well. Really have to push your way up. And he's now from the pegs. On to the second to last obstacle, the red tubes, aka the aerial barrels.
Got a good amount of time here to this spot. But he's just shaking out, getting ready.
I think this is only going to really allow him one good attempt on both of the last 2 obstacles. This is about how much time Joseph Rouse had when he took this on as well.
Nice pop back. Yep, he has 22 seconds left. Getting ready for the VCRs.
Yeah, it looks like he might only have time for 1 good attempt here. Maybe 2. Time freezes. And here we are. Can he catch that?
Oh, almost
Just
got the
feels
first grab.
off. But still an incredible run. Very fast, very dominant out of Will Peruka. We will be seeing him in Brooklyn for the Premier Series Finals. Letting out that battle cry at the beginning again.
Saves it there. Nice little throw there on the pipe coaster. Yeah, he just looked really smooth through all these obstacles, but I think obviously this course was so taxing. Just ran out of grip there.
And with that, we're going to take it to our final runner on the challenge course. Bo Lewis on the bubble has to beat Eyeglass Lane in 2 minutes 23 seconds if Jackson Van Sickle wants to make it into the finals. Meanwhile,
Yep.
Will Peruka, Joseph Rouse, and Carter Whitman all in the finals, with Will taking the fastest time with his run.
Yep, and as we saw, Jackson just absolutely destroyed our placement course, so it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be definitely a nail biter for Bo, but I think Jackson looked so strong, and he could be our first finisher. Could be a walk-off.
No, he's not wasting any time. Moving right through the Titan Slayer. And you can tell he's not necessarily sprinting right now. He's just moving efficiently. Goes to show the type of approach he's got. Probably going for more energy conservation and efficiency. Not so much sprinting to one obstacle. This is a man who wants to make it to the end of this course.
Absolutely. Gets that reach out. He's out of there, and now onto the cliffhanger.
Skips the first couple of ledges by jumping up. He can just reach on out. Got some long arms as well, using that to his advantage. And a nice clean dismount. Not going to need some chalk for the jumping spider. But his foot slipping and down he goes. Uh-oh, gonna, wipe off his shoe a little bit to make sure that he doesn't do that again.
He looks
Very,
confused,
very
like what's going on with
surprising
these?
There you go. Come on.
Oh, but his feet are slipping again. He resets. That's okay.
Man, this is I can't believe this.
And suddenly,
He might have to do like the leg where
There
he
you go. Come on.
where he has like the leg like on the side.
Good. You got it. Hold
Technique.
fast. Yep. There you go. Nice.
well, his feet are
Nice.
slipping again. The time
on,
is
all
ticking
the way.
now. It's been a minute and a half.
Yeah, he's
He
doing
is
he's has
fighting.
There you go. Come on.
Oh no,
All
but
the
he's
way to that
slipping again.
platform.
He's got to save it.
Fight for it. There you go.
What a save!
Good job.
He's out of there.
Wow.
Does not bode well for his time right now. Was
He's-
moving at a very smooth pace, and now he's gonna have to flawless a lot more of this course. Good hollow.
There he goes. But yeah, he's
At the 2-minute mark, Bo's time through. Oh my goodness! A
my
one-handed
gosh.
save. Oh my goodness!
what a nail biter. This is coming down to the wire.
That is on
Dude.
par with Ava's save yesterday. My
so-
God.
I believe mathematically speaking, he cannot beat Bo Lewis's time through this obstacle, which means he's gonna have to beat this and the hammers in order to qualify for finals.
This whole course is just taken
Oh,
take out the toll. Oh no.
it's down to this attempt and every attempt after.
He
It's
has-
just one run. He's out of retries after this.
Yeah, and he's just fought so hard to get here. That that spider took so much out of him. But now has to go for this.
He
And
gets,
he
the,
gets
top.
the top.
He's gonna have to beat this obstacle if he wants to go to finals. 40 seconds remain. No retries left. Great first grab. Great second grab.
And he gets
looks like
it.
He's going to clutch it up. Jackson Bensicle will be going to the Premier Series finals. He looks spent though, Philip.
Yeah, he's used every ounce of energy on this course. Has nothing left but to static these. But he's still going. He still has the grip to hang on to that. Slider.
Can definitely get through this obstacle with the 5 seconds remaining, but he drops down, and his run is going to end there. What an, I mean, hey, like you said, a nail biter. That was crazy. It started off so strong on these first few obstacles, and then he just got so slipped up in the spider. You can see Donovan reacting behind him as well. And then this amazing one-handed save on the flying squirrel. Like, what?
I know. Just that whole run. Just then he finally made through, but then he had to beat the mallets, and it just wow. That was a clutch performance out of Jackson.
And that's going to put Jackson in third place, meaning your top four advancing to the Premier Series finals are Carter Whitman, Jackson Van Sickle, Joseph Rouse, and Will Perutka. No buzzers on the challenge course, but a very, very strong fight between all of our competitors, with two making it to the final obstacle.
Absolutely. We did get to see that final obstacle, but no, neither of them could figure out that first kind of throw back, and we're gonna have to wait for the teens and elites to see if they can be the first to solve that. And
Absolutely.
wow, what a nail-biting finish, and what strong runs we've seen today.
I couldn't agree more, Philip. And you mentioned we're gonna have to see if those teens or elites can get the VCR. Well, we've got some very, very capable elite competitors, including our elite male world champion, the first competitor to beat all three stages at the World Championship, Tyler Smith, with almost 30 million views on TikTok for all of his runs and big moves. He's going to be competing later today, and man, just he makes everything look so easy. And just such a talented athlete, so strong, and he's got it all: the grip, the technique, the speed. Every skill that you would want to have in a ninja, Tyler Smith has it in spades. And it's his run at the World Championship, getting to do commentary for this. The first athlete to beat all three stages in the elite division. You can see the excitement. You can see just how big of a moment that was. And it's not going to be a gimme for Tyler. That's the crazy thing, because he'll be competing with his training partner, Phil Folsom, who got second place in the 2022 World Championship, making it to stage 3. Phil Folsom, very widely known for his incredible trick shots, his crazy tech moves, but also just his overall skill. He's such a strong athlete. Able
Look at
to
those
do some of
links.
the fly-away regrab links. Like, come on. Yes, so much power. And again, he trains with Tyler. These guys know each other. They love and respect each other as friends, as partners, as, fellow athletes. But they're both going to be coming for that win and for a ticket into finals. So it'll be very exciting to see how Tyler and Phil fare on the course today. We can take a look at some, I believe we have some stats preset for our two barn boys as they're described. Tyler's going to be a little taller, has more of a wingspan, but as we can see here, very, very similar in stats. For every competition that they do, Phil has beaten 12 obstacles on average, Tyler 13.3 obstacles on average. Very, very similar in foot dexterity, climbing, moving on obstacles, campusing on obstacles. Their body control and their body awareness is absolutely insane. And Philip, you can see that difference in generating swing. How do you think that'll fare on our courses today?
Yeah, it's tough. They both have definitely have different styles, even though they're both incredibly strong and very evenly matched. The thing is, they both have different styles with their swing. Tyler's obviously a very quick ninja in his own right, but he has a lot more like smooth swings and like kind of just like following through nice and clean and smooth. Phil can just throw himself.
Yes.
and he's so strong, he can just throw himself and keep his stamina, so he can just keep throwing himself like off of it. Like, something I noticed from him a lot is his dismounts are just like, if he wants to skip a dismount, he just like chucks himself. Like, he's just very aggressive style.
I think that type of aggression will be great on obstacles like the eyeglass lane, where you theoretically could muscle your way through it if you wanted to just pop off the eyeglass without making moves and spending time on that obstacle. I think it is possible for athletes like Phil and Tyler to really just full send through that lane, but it's definitely still not easy. And these boys have a tall task ahead of them, as well as our other elite athletes. So if you guys want to join us for the remainder of our qualifier, we'll be kicking off the teen division at 4:15 p.m. Eastern, 3:15 p.m. Central, and then our elites will kick off at 7:15 p.m. Eastern, 6:15 p.m. Central. That's going to do it for us, though. Thank you so much. For Philip Scott and myself, Kane Casillas, we will see you guys in the future. Enjoy the rest of the competition.